I'm in no way the sort of person that would ever make a TikTok, but I still enjoy my finest selections of TikToks that radiate the same energy as Vine compilation videos on YouTube. And in between the odd funny one, and I mean the odd funny one, I keep finding myself confused at clips of people lip syncing to what most of my American viewers probably think just sounds like some random 10-year-old British girl. Little did you know where these clips were even coming from. In today's video, we are going to nosedive into the source of these TikTok lip syncs and the troubling truth behind these iconic tantrums.
Open the larder and can we have our shopping? Because that selfish yank has just eaten all food. I'm too angry to talk. I want to smash someone's head in. Who is she? Who is she? Where did you find her? Why does everybody think it's okay to be in this torturous environment? I'm not enjoying it. I'm not. I hate it. I hate it. He's had 4 bowls of cornflakes yesterday. 4.
Woke up feeling like death. My stomach was churning. Everything I ate, I just shat out.
Hi guys, it's been a while, hasn't it? I do apologize. I had another existential crisis, but enough about me. So, the 10-year-old in the TikTok videos, well, firstly, that's no 10-year-old. That's a 38-year-old woman. Yeah, let's just get that out of the way first. And secondly, who is she? Who is she? Who is she? It's none other than Nikki Grahame, a promo girl from London. And well, most of the sources from these soundbites are like over 15 years old. Like its origin is older than most of TikTok's core users. That's like a whole level of irony that I don't even think my IQ can process. All of these clips come from the 7th series of the British version of the popular global television format Big Brother.
Viewers, you have 15 seconds to say goodbye to the summer. Big Brother's coming to get you.
It spawned across a total of 19 seasons, with 22 seasons of the celebrity version of the show, which was famous for unforgettable moments like this.
I'm claustrophobic, Darren! They don't get it! I'm claustrophobic!
Oh my god, Jackie!
Yeah, Bracky.
David's dead. Wow. She's cancer. And you gotta please stay calm, please.
She told me that David died! That is so sick!
Is he alive?
Chill, no, chill.
What did I do?
You told her that David was dead with cancer.
Yes, he is.
He's in there asleep.
You're the most selfish, self-obsessed person I have ever met in my entire life. In your opinion. So,
Give up. You
horrible, horrible girl.
What you had?
Excuse me!
And while I don't deny that celebrity housemates Tiffany Pollard, Gemma Collins, and Kim Woodburn have become iconic, Nikki Grahame is the most legendary and most quotable normal Big Brother housemate of all time.
Who is she? Who is she? Who is she?
Nikki practically wrote the playbook on how to be a successful British reality TV star in the noughties. And I'll let you in on a little secret. That was not intentional, and you'll come to see. And before we can start this video is sponsored by me. Yay. In all seriousness though, before we even get into this, we need to mentally prepare ourselves for where we are headed. We are going back to a simpler, primitive time in summer 2006. The Simple Life was on hiatus following a 2005 feud between best friends Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, devastating stans worldwide. Oh god, I need to delete that. I was at least upset anyway, if that counts for anything. Fashion had officially reached its peak before the undeniable descent into the drabs we were today. This is peak culture, if there ever was a thing. But more importantly than any of that, it was launch night of Big Brother 2006 when Channel 4 would send some of the most insane people in Britain into a confined space. Recipe for disaster. Yes, you're bang on the money.
I'm bubbly and fun.
There was a lot to live up to. This season was following 2 hit seasons in a row with fights, pregnancy scares, and even a woman performing a sex act on a wine bottle, all on live TV. Classy stuff.
Do you want it?
I don't want it.
Because you're asking for it. You're dying for it.
To kick things off, we see 13 housemates enter the famous house. We only get to see a quick video before they enter the house, and it's safe to say that they're all mental.
Hi, I'm Richard, I'm Canadian, and I'm a sexual terrorist.
I'm different, definitely different. I mean, how many Chinese people can you say talk like this?
I had the first boob job, then I had a second one, third one, fourth one. Tummy tuck, lip implants, lipo, tooth veneers, 2 nose job.
I'm a British-born, Scottish, self-proclaimed packy poof.
However, it's the last housemate that has everyone talking. So the reason snowflake is used as an insult is because they think they're special, they're unique, and they're different. And honestly, if you ever get called a snowflake, wear that badge of honor because they think that you think that you're different. And if there was a club for snowflakes, Nikki would be the leader of the snowflakes.
I think I'm just special.
She's an adult woman and she's half naked, dressed like a bunny. Like, if this doesn't give you Karen Smith vibes from Mean Girls, I don't know what will.
What are you? I'm a mouse. Duh.
So fast forward a couple of days into the house and Nikki seems to be a little cranky over bottled water.
I feel disgusting. I'm dehydrated because they won't give me any bottled water.
It's a bit over dramatic, it's a bit over the top. She does look a bit like a gremlin, but who are we to judge?
I'm not enjoying it. I'm not. I hate it. I f***ing hate it.
People get homesick, bada bing bada boo, she'll be fine by next week. But evidently it turns out that's not the case and Nikki throws tantrum after tantrum.
Feeling very venomous and angry. And then I have a hissy fit. And then you're all laughing at me. Why are you punishing me and not telling me who else is up? It's not fair. That's my bed. That's my bed. That's my bed. That's my bed. That's my bed.
Something just doesn't seem quite right about this adult, if you want to call her that. But what's more insane about it is that it feels like the producers are purposely picking on Nikki just to rile her up as much as they can.
I'm not having this! Who is she? Who is she? Who is she? Where did you find her? Who is she? Who is she? Who is she?
There is like 13 other housemates, but it always seems that Nikki is the one getting upset at the hand of the producers and her other housemates.
The more you speak, the more you'll have to sit here.
No! I do not want to be amongst you lot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to be around people. They're gonna give a about how I'm feeling.
Sorry for your sets. Why'd you think you're up for eviction? Why'd you think?
Since we're being honest with each other, and as a kid, I found this to be hilarious. I think many of us who watched this as kids did as well. But as I've gotten older and I've looked at the clips, something just doesn't feel right about it. That's not because I'm smarter and people back then were thick as cow. I just think we've become, way more versed with mental health issues and we can see when someone is clearly in distress. And with that in mind, I did start to see a recurring trigger for Nikki with the tantrums. More than anything, Nikki gets really upset when anything relating to food or temperature was changed or altered in the slightest. Which I honestly don't know how this wasn't a red flag for the producers or the psych team to think, okay, we've got this really, really small petite girl who seems to be having panic attacks anytime we turn the heating down. I looked into it a bit and I found people suffering from anorexia are actually in danger quite a bit because their bodies are struggling to find the calories to keep them warm and they need a stable temperature until they find the calories to tie them over. When we take this into account and we actually look at the amount of times that Nikki had a temperature related tantrum, it's actually quite shocking.
I can feel the breeze coming in. Why are you doing that? I can't take any more of this. I swear,
I've just been out there. It's warmer in the garden than it is in here. I can't live here. I'm sick and tired of battling with them over the aircon. I'm sick and tired. I don't have the energy in me anymore to keep coming and asking for the heating on. I am so cold. It's a blizzard. I'm going to catch a cold. My f***ing gun. Take it anymore. I'm so cold!
People suffering from anorexia, it's developed usually as a coping mechanism, so they feel like they have control. Usually it's due to some unresolved trauma at one point in their life when they felt like they didn't have control. Of course, this control is only extended by the amount of calories that enters their body, but it's their way of feeling that they do have control. And again, with that in mind, looking at the sheer amount of tantrums Nikki had relating to food, it's not looking good for Channel 4.
He's had 4 bowls of cornflakes yesterday. 4! And they're not just normal bowls, they're f***ing mountains. Who took my beer, guys?
Fine. I don't care, mate.
So I put it under my pillow. That is the most selfish thing I have ever entailed. No, because I just won't eat that.
You have to eat it to make it pass.
Oh, it's the worst piece of toast I've ever had in my whole life. That dry as my diarrhea on your eviction day. Who needs that? My stomach was churning. Everything I ate, I just shat out.
The tantrums became an iconic staple of summer 2006 television. Nikki had struck a chord with the British viewing public, but unfortunately for Nikki, she found herself being the 6th person to be evicted from the house.
Nikki!
It was this monumentous moment for the series. Every housemate evicted so far in the competition had left the house to a harmony of boos. But not Nikki. It was just such a heartwarming end to a housemate's journey in the house. However, this eviction was not the end of Nikki's journey in the house. Following the eviction, Big Brother 2006 began to experience a sharp ratings decline in the weeks following the elimination. With the show being filmed 24/7, it makes it possible for the producers to make changes based on reviews and public perception. It's kind of like anyone who's watched Shane Dawson's recent Makeup series or the Jake Paul series, and it kept being delayed because Shane was apparently editing the series depending on people's reactions. I'm not sure why I said apparently, he did say this himself, and we all know how it turns out. It's not healthy. It makes it feel more calculated and contrived than real, and it's supposed to be real. So anyway, long story short, Nikki and 4 other ex-housemates were sent back into the house in a shock twist. On a side note, this twist was actually investigated by Ofcom, and they decided that the twist was a scam because it went against the premise of Big Brother and voting to evict, so Channel 4 were forced to pay a fine about this. And this is a point in the show's history where the audience truly began to turn on the show and the producers and anything connected to the show. And this teaches us a valuable lesson. Do not screw with people that spend their money in any shape or form on you or your product because it pisses people off. Don't do it. Once back in the house, Big Brother threw everything they could to make Nikki act up. They paid a 50 grand fine. They were going to get their money's worth of this. And to be fair, it worked too. The ratings were on the rise, but the voting public were not too happy. And eventually, Nikki left the house in 5th place. And I know what you're thinking. She was evicted before, so why would she place anywhere higher than 5th place? But it wasn't about the winning. It was about the reception. In fact, the reception that Nikki left to was quite cold compared to the one she received just a few weeks ago.
Listen, first
Firstly, I want to say that you've been a bit startled, haven't you? Because it's hard coming out when people are booing.
She went from being the nation's sweetheart to the most hated pariah in the space of 3 weeks. It was extremely uncomfortable viewing to witness the self-destruction of someone on live television, realizing that the very people that gave them acceptance had turned on her. And just to be clear with you guys, I am in no way saying that Nikki is innocent in all this. In fact, I was actually quite disappointed to see how transphobic Nikki was in the series, within the clique she had formed with her fellow housemates.
I want to be black, but I ain't no fuck.
We're normal, and they brought in a he, she, and a wigger.
Imagine if you saw the willy dangling, like stood up and the willy was out. She fancies us, guys. She's a man, so she must do. Who does that man beast think he is? F off. Like I someone. Who does he think he is?
And if people think I'm too nice, I'm sorry, but this is just the way that I am. I don't like people who I can't cope with it.
Nikki and her group of friends bullied and ostracized people within the house and eventually picked them off one by one. Shabazz was one of the people that received this abuse, and he actually tried to take his own life after the show. And I'm not going to discredit Shabazz just because he wasn't the full shilling. But before it sounds like I'm going too hard on Nikki, I do understand that this was 15 odd years ago and times have changed, and Nikki was only 24 at the time, and I get that and I accept that. But my point is that so many housemates have been kicked out for doing much less than that before, and I think this does clearly show that Nikki was a puppet to the producers, whether she would like to admit that or not. Nikki undeniably provided unforgettable quotes that we are still seeing today on TikTok. But at what cost? Since leaving the show, Nikki has had relapse after relapse with her disorder, and she has spent much of her life in institutions. Pete Bennett, the winner of the series with Tourette's syndrome, blew his 100 grand winnings on ketamine. He's literally got nothing left.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
One positive that has come out of the show is that Nikki has become such a prominent figure to promote getting help for anorexia and other issues such as suffering from trichomania. Soz for butchering that word, but come off it, I was never going to get that word right. But was Nikki picked because the producers thought that she was going to become this great public figure? Not a chance in hell. Nikki was picked from hundreds of thousands of applicants because she's unhinged. Like, it doesn't take a psychologist to see that. And that is the blunt, honest truth that you're not going to get from the world of TV with all the smoke and mirrors. We see it every day. Unstable people are turning into overnight sensations without even knowing that the people that build them up are laughing at their expense. Lovely Peaches has a song out called Itching and Burning. Like, do I even need to say anything else? Like, what the hell? Like, each platform just has a different way of delivering it. Normal people and often unhinged people are used as tester dummies when it comes to this formula for creating a format, and then once they figure out how it works, they get the celebrities in after to make it monetizable. It is the sad reality of anything that goes mainstream. Extending your attention to someone who seems crazy and a barrel of laughs can be fun in the moment, but sometimes we really don't know what we're feeding and what they'll become. Reality TV was a lot less refined in the early 2000s, but nowadays, reality TV is almost as scripted as primetime soaps or telenovelas. What once started off as this fresh idea of putting your average Joe on television pretty much became put a group of mentally unhinged people into a small space and stick a few cameras up and see what happens. Big Brother UK changed quite dramatically across the course of its run. Series 1 was known as The Experiment, as it did the unthinkable and put 10 members of the public on primetime television with 24/7 live feed, and it was a ratings hit. Series 2 to 4 followed the formula that made the first series so successful, but the problem was by the fourth series, it seemed like the show was running out of steam very quickly. Cameron Stout, a Scottish fella, won the fourth series, but he was dubbed the most boring housemate in the history of the show. The producers behind the show needed to step up their game to keep the show on its ratings high, and that's when we had the birth of the most controversial 3 seasons of Big Brother in its entire history. Series 5 of Big Brother was featured in headline after headline. Housemates had to be forcefully removed from the house after their part in the big fight night that was broadcast over 10 million people watching live. The winner ended up being the first transgender person featured on UK British television, despite all the abuse she got from other housemates. No one knew what was coming for Series 7, but it needed to be big. Nikki Grahame entered the house, and her very presence exposed the cruel nature of reality TV producers and the viewing public. This series was riddled in controversy, and it was only made worse by the fact that the celebrity version followed after this, and that involved a race row between Shilpa Shetty and Jade Goody. The very people that built the foundation of the show were the catalyst that ultimately destroyed it. And that, my friends, is just poetic irony at its best.